if sexual intercourse takes place. Hi guys, Teacher Faith Mugendi here again. Welcome to my YouTube channel. As we have said earlier, that this is the channel that we make biology and mathematics a booster subject. Welcome. So on today's tutorial, guys, we are going to look at menstrual cycle. This was an area of concern not only to you, but also to my current student that I usually teach in a wonderful school that you don't have even to know. So when we are talking about menstrual cycle, what comes in the mind of a majority of you who are watching me here and abroad is that it happens to ladies. But also I want to emphasize that this cycle involves each one of us. This cycle is entirely determined or controlled by hormones. For the purposes of understanding this menstrual cycle, we are going to divide it into two major cycles. One, the uterine cycle, and two, the ovarian cycle. The ovarian cycle. So, when we talk of uterine cycle, is whereby the uterus prepares itself for implantation of the fertilized egg after the egg has been ovulated on day 14. I know you're asking yourself what is ovulation, but hold on your thought, we shall reach there. When we talk of ovarian cycle, we are talking of the phase whereby the Graafian follicles matures into an ovum that is released for fertilization. And again, for better and more elaborate understanding, I'm going to discuss menstrual cycle in 4 different phases. So, menstrual cycle is entirely controlled by hormones. And these hormones are divided into 2. The gonadotropin hormones and the ovarian hormones. The endotrophin hormones are the progesterone and the estrogen. The ovarian hormones are the luteinizing hormone, which we are abbreviating as LH, and the follicle stimulating hormones, which we are abbreviating as FSH. Now, menstrual cycle, as we have said, involves the shedding of the thickened uterine wall together with some tissue debris of the uterus. This is because fertilization of the previous cycle has not taken place. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use a diagram to explain the concentration of these hormones during the menstrual cycle. The first phase of menstrual cycle that I want us to start with is the menstrual phase. The menstrual phase occurs when fertilization has not taken place of the previous cycle. And because fertilization has not taken place, then the uterine wall will break down or will get destroyed. And do you know what happens? The end or the beginning of each menstrual cycle marks the beginning or the end of another cycle. So immediately the blood is released through the vagina of the female who is undergoing this menstrual cycle, another cycle begins the very first day when the blood is shed. The body doesn't care whether fertilization will take place or will not take place. So the hypothalamus will make a very urgent call to the pituitary gland. And don't bother yourself on about the hypothalamus and the pituitary gland, because we are going to discuss that more when we shall be dealing with the topic of irritability and coordination. So I just want to show you how communication is done in the female body during the menstrual cycle. So it will be like, hello, this is hypothalamus calling. And then what will the pituitary gland say? Yes, I'm here. What's up? And then the hypothalamus will go ahead and say, the menstrual cycle of the previous cycle has ended. So it is now the time to prepare for another new cycle. And by the event or by the process of shedding the uterine wall marks the end of the previous cycle and also overlaps with the beginning of another new cycle. And on the process, the pituitary gland, after now receiving the message that the cycle has ended and it is the time now to start another cycle, it will trigger the production of follicle stimulating hormone. What is follicle stimulating hormone? Follicle stimulating hormone is the hormone that will stimulate the production of Graafian follicles. And we said there are a number of them in the previous tutorial about the menstrual cycle part 1. So if you have not gone there, please go and watch the other one, and then you continue for better understanding. So the Graafian follicles are roughly produced like 20 of them. Even animals like chicken and other animals will lay a number of eggs. So like the chicken will lay 20 of them and sit on them, and all of them will hatch into chicks. But on human case, follicle stimulating hormone will trigger about production of about 20 Graafian follicles. But remember, these 20 Graafian follicles have immature eggs. And the earliest egg out of the 20 is the one that will undergo maturation. As this egg matures, there will be production of estrogen. Remember, during menstruation, the wall of the uterus was broken down, was destroyed. And the work of estrogen is to heal the destroyed uterine wall. As the egg continues maturing, it will trigger the production or the increase in the production of estrogen. If you look at this diagram, you realize towards day 14, the concentration of estrogen hormone is increasing. And as it increases, as the estrogen hormone increases, it triggers the increase of luteinizing hormone. Why is the luteinizing hormone increasing? Remember that luteinizing hormone is the hormone that is responsible for ovulation. So, as the egg matures, it clings on the wall of the ovary. And during the day 14, the Graafian follicle will burst. That process of bursting to release egg is what we are calling ovulation. And at this point, it is when it is believed that fertilization can occur if sexual intercourse takes place. So, when the luteinizing hormone brings about ovulation, then the remnants of the Graafian follicles will rearrange itself to form something we call corpus luteal. And this one takes us to this stage we are calling luteal phase. What is the purpose of this phase? The purpose of this phase, remember, the body is preparing for fertilization and implantation, and hence the development of the fetus in the womb of the woman. So what happens, the luteal, corpus luteum, its work is to produce this hormone we are calling the progesterone. What is the work of progesterone? The work of the progesterone is to maintain the pregnancy up to 4th month, whereby the placenta will already have formed to sustain the pregnancy. So that is why, guys, you can see at the beginning of the cycle, the level of estrogen will keep increasing up to close to 14 days and then continue until when it is around the 22nd, 23rd day, so that it will confirm that fertilization has not taken place. And the increase of estrogen as we follow the graph, and the increase of progesterone, its purpose is to maintain the pregnancy from the 1st month to the 4th month. But in the event that fertilization does not take place, then the level of progesterone and that of estrogen will start leveling down, and then it will mark the end of the cycle and again the beginning of another cycle. So this marks the end of our tutorial. Give us a thumbs up, share, and let as many people benefit from it. Let me know in the comment box below what is the next tutorial that you prefer me to take it. Subscribe.